I wanted to briefly talk about nested lists in R because we can actually create lists of lists of lists and so on. And that process creates nested lists because the lists are actually nested in each other. In that case, to subset elements of the list, we might need to stack using single square brackets or double square brackets side by side to subset or extract the desired elements. So we're just going to do a few different examples so that hopefully you can get a feel for how this is done. So we're going to start by creating a nested list below. So you can see here that we have a list, and inside that list is another list, and inside that list is another list. And it gets pretty complicated, so let's just run this command and look at B. And so this list B has two elements. The first element of that list is in fact another list, whereas the second element is just the numeric vector 5, 6, and 7. The first element of the list stored in position 1 of the list B is the numeric vector or the numeric value 1. The second element is the value 1, 2, whereas the third element of that list is another list. So we actually have a three-level nested list. So if we only extracted the first element of the list, B, we get another list. The first element of that list is the value 1, then 1, 2, and then another list that contains more numeric vectors. If we extracted the second element of the list B, we get the numeric vector 5, 6, 7. Okay, so you can see that we're extracting this in the first syntax and this when we use the second syntax. What if we wanted to subset the first two elements of the first element of our list B? Well, if that were the case, we would simply append the single square brackets with the numeric vector 1 and 2 to what we had previously used to extract the first element of B. And you can see now that we get a list with numeric values of 1 in the first element and then the values 1 and 2 in the second element. If we wanted to extract the third element in the first element of B, then using double square brackets, we can append 3 in double square brackets to access the element that we want. So when we do that, you can see that we actually get the list that was stored in that particular position. So you can see that when you have a nested list, you have to think very carefully about what you're trying to extract. But we can combine using single square brackets and double square brackets to subset or extract the relevant parts of the nested list.